Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Louis Savage. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are being safe. And yes, I know it's been a while since I dropped a video. I've mostly been streaming for the past couple of days. I've been streaming on Fridays and Saturdays and occasionally the Tuesdays because, you know, Apex Legends has been dropping a whole bunch of new content for us. We had the Season 8 launch and now we have the anniversary event. And that's cool and all, but today's video is not actually going to be focusing on that. Today's video is going to be more of a, if you read the title, you should know, it's more of a little tip type of video, right? 5 tips to help improve your Apex gameplay. So originally I was gonna have it as, 5 beginner tips, or 5 Apex tips for beginners and stuff like that. But the more I've been playing, the more I'm noticing, you got people level 200s, level 300s even. And, y'all be fumbling sometimes, Hey, don't get hurt. I do it too. We're all here. But, this is why I'm making this video. See, there's some things that I may miss out on this video, some tips that I may not say, and again, it's only 5. Or there's some that, you may not have known and you're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So if you're a beginner, this is a good video for you. If you are a veteran, a casual player, still a good video for you. So I recommend watching the video in its entirety. Also, if you're new to the channel, please do me a favor and subscribe. And, for newcomers and people who are coming back, how about you hit that notification bell? That way it lets you know when I am streaming, because like I said, I do stream on Fridays and Saturdays, and sometimes it depends on what time I start because I'm a college student and college is not nice to students. With that being said, let's get into it. Tip number 1, practice in the firing range. Now, this might seem like a no-brainer, right? But it will surprise you how many people go into a game without practicing in the firing range, and you can't really blame them. A lot of times people, come back from work or, just got done with school stuff, or, you just have a little bit of time in the day to relax and you're like, let me play some Apex real quick. You don't want to make it feel like you're wasting time going to the firing range to practice before you go into a real game. But I promise you that 2 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes that you spend in that firing range right before you hop into a new game is gonna help you. Especially if you're a beginner, because main reason is because there are 2 things in Apex Legends that improving your gameplay focuses on, right? Number 1 is gun skill, and number 2 is game sense. Game sense is something that you, over time, adapt, right? You get experience by playing continuously, and your game sense starts to rise. Gun skill is something that is basically mastering the recoil patterns of the weapons and being able to handle your gun pretty well, your gunfights pretty well. Those 2 combined together is what increases your odds at winning a game, knowing what fights to take and actually hitting your shots when you do take a fight. You can't hope to get better at your gun skill without going to the firing range and practicing it, because the only time you practice the gun's recoil is if you pick it up in a game. Well, let's just say it's going to take exponentially longer before you get better at better at using that gun, compared to someone who maybe goes to the firing range maybe for 2 to 4 minutes and just practices the recoil patterns of each gun. That's muscle. You're working your finger muscles to remember the recoil and kind of adapt to it. All right, so that's tip number 1, practicing the firing range. For me personally, I do this as well. There are times right before stream, or just right before I play casually, I go to the firing range and I just sometimes I spend up to 30 minutes sometimes if I have music on and I'm really trying to grind rank or something. I literally could do that for but you don't have to take as long as I do. You can do that for about 2 minutes at least, or maybe 5 minutes max. Just practice with each gun, and the more you do it, the more you realize you're going to get better at controlling recoil, and that way then your win rates in fights is going to increase exponentially. Moving on to tip number 2, drop responsibly. What does that mean by drop responsibly? Dropping responsibly is basically don't no-brain your jump. So preemptively think of where you're gonna drop, okay? Don't just oh, I see a lot of people going there, so I'm just gonna drop there. Chances are, especially when you see a lot of people going there going there early and you're late towards the jump, you're gonna die. It's a no-brainer, but a lot of people, especially people who are over level 100 to below level 350. I've noticed a lot. You guys just like to drop hot because your goal is oh, I'm gonna get as many kills as I can, forgetting the fact that Apex Legends is a battle royale, which means that there is a very high level of RNG involved, right? You're not just gonna land and automatically have get the purple shield and get the R301 with extended light mag and just go ham on everybody. No, sometimes you're gonna land and get nothing. So why exactly would you like risk it? Now I understand that a lot of times most people do this because, really pro players or, really popular streamers or YouTubers will say, oh, if you want to get better, just land at a hot location over and over again. And eventually you see yourself, get better. Like, that is cool to an extent. To an extent that I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But then the other side of that I call bullshit, because you're not really learning anything off of dying. It's as simple as that. Like, okay, what exactly did you learn? I landed and if I had gotten that shield, maybe he wouldn't have killed me just as fast. Or if I had gotten his gun and his shield, maybe I would have won. Like, no duh. So the purpose for that, or the reason why they tell you to land hot, is normally to build your game sense, right? And to calm your nerves, right? A lot of times, when you land hot and you're trying to fight people off rip, you got to be thinking fast. You got to calm the nerves. All right, you got to like be in clutch mode in a sense, because it's like do or die, really. Either you kill them or they kill you. And that is practice, right? It's practice for when you final circle, ranked, whatever it is. That way, by the time you experience it enough, you're developing your game sense, so you know so you're getting better at the game. But it's also bullshit, because what if you don't grab the right loot? All right, so an example of this is landing containment. A lot of people like to, when you're going, especially when the ship is going that course, they like to drop containment. And I'm like, why? Why would you drop containment when you see 600 teams going to containment and it doesn't even have that great loot pool? Instead, if you really want to get into early fights, don't drop hot, drop surrounding areas near the hot drop, right? And this is like, for example, using the containment example, instead of landing containment, land at that ecosystem next to containment, right? Because right now there's like a eco lab thing, and right next to that is a vault, like a weapons vault. So why land containment when you could land there? Guarantee your whole squad should have enough loot there, even if it might be white shields and an alternator or something. That is, at least it's certified loot without contest, right? And then if you get a nader suit, open the weapons vault. When you open the weapons vault, grab whatever attachments you need, and now you can make the decision of, do I push in and finish up everybody? Do I have enough loot to do that? Or do I have to loot around other areas first before I actually pick off the rest? So again, drop responsibly. Tip number 3, ping. Use the ping system and communicate. Apex Legends is a team-based game, and it, especially compared to other battle royales, it really, really does rely heavy on teamwork. Okay, as much as you might see a lot of clips. For every insane clip you see about Daltouche and back off my janks and item, but all them squad wiping people, there's like about 10 of those instances that they don't show you about them getting dropped by 3 people. You know what I'm saying? Even they will tell you the hardest thing to do in Apex Legends is 1v3 in a team. Now, if you switch that to 1v3 in a communicative team, it's almost impossible. Because again, not only are they just, decent players, not only do they have numbers over you, they're actually communicating. They can talk to someone. If it's low, everybody knows he's low. If he's doesn't have any health, everybody knows he doesn't have any health. If he's cracked, your teammates know he's cracked. So it's like, okay, I can't just like leisurely just push in and do something dumb. If this guy's a cracked player, I have to actually be cautious. Things like that really play a big role in your engagements. And normally this is what I'll say, if you do have a mic, use your mic. But it's understandable. A lot of people don't like to use your mics, and a lot of people don't have mics. And I don't blame you, all right? Even sometimes I don't use my mics as well. So this is why I'm saying use pings, right? If you're getting pushed by a team, you can't just be like, oh, I'm getting pushed by a team, let me run away and not tell my teammates that we're getting pushed by a team. What are you gonna do? Play the entire game solo? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta ping, hey, we're getting pushed. If you want to loot somewhere, let's loot this place. If you don't think landing there is a good idea, say no. It is, especially in ranked, because ranked, a lot of times people don't like to listen. People like to just play on ego and be like, oh, let's land here. And it's like, if you don't think it's a good idea, say it's not a good idea. And then if your teammate is being ignorant and just wants to straight up hot drop, then you have every right to abandon ship and just leave. Because at the end of the day, it's your RP that you're worried about, not his. But in instances that aren't, specific like that, you want to be able to ping a lot. Apex has one of the better ping systems I've ever seen in any game. And so take good advantage of it. Tip number 4, subscribe. This is a shameless plug. I stream every Fridays and Saturdays now, so it seems. and varies. I can start between maybe 4 on Fridays, or I start usually 2:33 on Saturdays. And you want to hit that notification bell just so you get it. You get a little notification when I do start streaming. I communicate with the chat a lot. It's actually one of the fun things I like the most about streaming. So hop in. If you got questions and stuff like that, let me know. Tip number 5, experiment. What I mean by experiment is don't just lock in on one thing, right? A lot of people like to do this thing where it's like they find, and it's really weird, especially in a multiplayer game, right? In a game that has variety, I mean. It's Apex Legends, there's a very good amount of guns, right? And this is an example, but you see some people who only use the R301, or they're like, that's your primary weapon. It's not bad to have that. I think for most, the best example would be Legends, right? So Apex Legends has a very good amount of Legends. I mean, hey, Fuse just came out right now, so we have a good pool of Legends. Yet you see some people who only play Bangalore, or only play Gibraltar, or only main Octane. And if you so help take away their main, right? Oh, it's my turn on the Octane train. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna, yell, or they're gonna like rage quit. Like, don't be that asshole. Don't be that idiot. Don't main just one legend. Always have backups. Have at least 2 backups, because what if your 2 teammates take the first 2? You always have a third. So yeah, you don't want to be that person who's having that, who's raging over the mic because someone took your main. Neither do you want to be caught in the instance where your main gets taken and now you're like, I'm kind of useless here, guys. This is the only person I play. You know what I'm saying? You always want to have a variety of people you could play. And like I said, for beginners, people like Gibraltar is a good pick, Bloodhound's a good pick, Lifeline's a good pick. I would not suggest Bangalore if you're new. The reason why I'm saying that is because you might end up doing a lot more harm than good. Hey, you could be cracked as a Bangalore player. Again, if you've been playing Bangalore since the very beginning, she caught your eye. Do you, man? If you've been playing Mirage, do you? But if you're someone who's like, just new to, shooters, you're just new to Apex, you're new to Battle Royales in general, you want to play someone who can survive on their own, but also help your team, right? Especially because you might not be knowing what you're doing, which is why I suggest people like the people I mentioned before, like Bloodhound. All you gotta do is scan every once in a while, show them, oh, this is where the enemy is at. That's helping your teammate. If you're a Lifeline, you have your supply drop and you have your health. If someone's knocked, you gotta just run towards them and press the revive button. It's like all these simple things. If you're Gibraltar and you're getting pushed, you throw a shield. Like these are, or you even have a gun shield. You have fortified. You have a higher chance of winning your 1v1s. These are things that you should pay attention to. And I plan on making a video for top 5 legends for beginners. I think I should do that. And to end it all up, the 5 tips again on the little speed run. Number 1, practice in the firing range. Practice your gun skills, your gun control, recoil, and all that. Number 2, do not drop in POIs. Drop responsively, guys. Drop around it, or go for a place with not less traction. You never know. You might find some good loot over there. Number 3, ping a lot. Communicate with your teammates. Apex is a team-based game. You want to be communicating with your team. You don't want to be get caught with your pants down, or be in a situation where had my teammates known, they could have done this or I could have done that differently. You don't want to do all that. Before, subscribe. I'm serious. Guys, subscribe, please. And number 5 is stick to 3 legends. Have 3 legends that you can play on rotation in case your first 2 get taken. You don't want to be that asshole that literally is like, oh, you took my main. Neither do you want to look like an asshole just because somebody took your main. Hopefully this helps you guys in some way, shape, or form. If it does help you guys, put down a comment below. If you have extra comments, extra tips you want to leave for other people, put it down in the comment below. And let me know, which is easier, vacuuming or washing dishes? This is random shit, but I'm gonna start doing these just randomly. Okay, so personally, I go washing dishes. I'm kind of person who I don't mind. I can listen. I don't know. It's just a lot easier to me to do that into vacuum. Vacuum's gotta go everywhere pretty much. Walking, but washing dishes, I'm stationary, and all I'm doing is just literally just using my hands, rinsing, tossing it over. You know what I'm saying? But let me know what you guys think in the comment down below. And again, appreciate you guys for listening. Appreciate you guys for subscribing. Appreciate you guys for liking the video, because I know you guys will. Because you guys are awesome. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace and love.
Someone's targeting me.
Don't drop.
To recharge my shields.
What is this, ranked?
10 seconds. The ring's close.
Dude, download. Oh, damn it. Oh, no, no. That's not circle. Don't. They gotta move. They gotta move.
Charge my shield. Charging shields. They spotted me.
Got his ass. Oh, got his ass.
Hostile close. Charging shields. Come on. Smart. Kill leader down.
Let's fucking go.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take
I
it
may
on.
not do much.
I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the ninth inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here I'm screaming, okay.